Hey everyone, it's Megan from Bookish Delights. Today's video is going to be my January reads and a little bit more about one of my goals for 2020. So first, let's get started with, yes, I am in a wrist brace. If you haven't seen my Twitter, I had posted something asking for recommendations for a computer chair because mine broke and I was sat in it, so it literally launched me out of it. And ever since then, like my arm, my shoulder, my elbow, like my whole arm, and I already owned a wrist brace, so this is giving me a little bit of support. I've been wearing it for a couple of days now. It's still not really getting any better, so we'll just have to see how this goes. I'm not in my normal setup because my bookcase is a mess because I just took down Christmas decorations, so I haven't set it up how I normally would, and I'm just tired. I want to sit down. I'm sore. I had a long day today. If you hear anything in the background, that is just my dog playing around. Sorry, not sorry. I'm letting her play. I have only read 3 books this month, and I started it on a 4th book, but I kind of hit a slump. And this is going to tie in with one of my reading goals for 2020. So one of my goals for 2020 was to read 100 pages a day. And because I hit a slump in the first of the month of this year, I haven't been able to read the 100 pages a day. And I just want to talk a little bit about that. And basically, I'm not going to get upset if I don't hit the 100 pages a day, because there's some days where I'm just so busy that when I get home that I'm just way too tired and like I'm just exhausted and I don't feel like reading, and I just want to wind down with watching some YouTube or just taking a nap. And then there are some days where I will read a whole book or listen to a whole book or like read over 100 pages. And there's just sometimes you get in a slump and it's just hard to beat slumps. So I'm not going to get angry with myself or upset with myself if I don't hit this goal every day, or if I don't hit any of my other goals like how I had planned it. And this is just a reminder for you guys that you also don't need to beat yourself up over these things. Like if you don't hit that goal, that is okay. Just keep reading, keep doing your best, and you will eventually get that goal, even if it's not in the time frame that you had originally planned. That's okay. And with that being said, I'm just going to get right into the books. Like I said, I only have read 3 books and working on a 4th, and I think I might DNF that book. It's a slow going. Okay, so the first book I have is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicolette Yoon. I love this cover because it's so bright and colorful, and I am like an artsy, crafty person, so this really speaks to me. So this is basically about, there are 2 main characters, a girl and a boy, Natasha and Daniel. Yes, Daniel. One is not really about the whole love at first sight, true love, soulmate type thing. Is like scientific and facts for Natasha, and then for Daniel, he is more open-minded about all that. And there's just one day where they end up meeting, and she's just trying to do her daily errands that she's trying to run because her family is about to be deported by something that a careless mistake that her father has done. So she's just trying to run about, I think it's in New York, yes, in New York City. She's just trying to run about and do what she has to do to get everything sorted out for herself and her family. And Daniel has this, I think it's like a big interview for school or like an internship. I can't quite remember the details about that, but he has this really big interview coming up on that day, and and it's supposed to be really big for his education and his future career. But he kind of wants to blow that off when he meets Natasha, because he's trying to prove that true love and soulmates do exist. He's trying to change her mind about it all, and they become really good friends. And it just follows along their adventures throughout that day, and things get switched around and more plot twists come up for them, more challenges, and it's just an overall really good read. I believe I rated this 4 stars, maybe even 4.5, but it is a really good book. I do enjoy Nicola Yoon's writing. My dog just really wants to be next to me and part of this video, so you may see her popping in and out on screen. She just really likes to have attention on her and have some cuddles. So I am looking forward to reading some more of Nicola Yoon's work, because I really do enjoy her writing. The next 2 books were actually audiobooks. So the first one was Illuminate by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I'm just making sure my dog does not knock over my camera. She's a little bit of a klutz and she just likes being nosy. So Illuminate is basically, again, it's centered more around one main character, but it does switch up here and there, and it's told in like this different type of format. There's like interviews and like emails and just different messages coming up on like a computer type thing. There's like error messages. It's really a different format. And for this, I would recommend listening to the audiobook as well as following along with the ebook or the physical book, because it's 2 different experiences. The audio is actually a full cast. There's some stuff in the physical book that you will miss if you're just listening to the audiobook. So I highly recommend doing the 2 formats at once. That's what I did, and I really enjoyed it that way. The full cast is amazing, and I look forward to listening to the rest of the Illuminate files on audio for this experience. It's great, and there's just some stuff in like the physical book that you will miss out on with the full cast. They really bring the story together and really bring it to light, and it's really amazing. So basically their little, I don't want to say a colony, but their life, basically their area, their town has been fired at from, it's kind of basically like good versus evil. So they're trying to escape the enemy. So they are off into space now. There's 2 different spacecrafts. I can't remember their names of the spacecraft, but one is more like powerful and built for this type of thing, and the other one is just trying to scrape by without getting caught in any fire and just trying to get away and escape and keep everyone healthy and alive. But there has been this disease outbreak, some sort of virus that they're trying to keep contained, but something goes wrong with the spacecraft big system. I think it's Aiden is what the main computer thing is called. I'm not really sure what you would call that. It's a computer thing. So there's something malfunctions with him, and everyone thinks that he's trying to destroy everyone on that spacecraft, but in reality it's just trying to buy them some time to be able to help them get away from the enemy ship. And it just goes along with that. The main character, she has a lot of challenges, and she is one of the ones that kind of just steps up and decides to risk everything to save everyone that she can, save as many people as she can. And it's just, I'm not very great at describing what this story is about, because it's really something that you need to experience on your own. And I gave this 5 stars, and I can't wait to continue on the series and read more of Jay Kristoff's work and more of Amy Kaufman's work. So moving on to the third book, this was also an audiobook, and this is The Wives by Taryn Fisher. I'm not sure if you would say Taryn or Taryn. This is like a mystery thriller book. It's fantastic. I did give this 5 stars. I was not expecting the ending, like the last little bit of this story. Like, it threw me for a loop. Was not expecting it at all, but it is fantastic. And it basically deals with, there is this woman and her husband who is, it starts off where he's in like this polygamous type relationship where he has 2 other wives, but each of the wives don't know one another, and they're kind of separate from each other. So they have certain days where they spend with the husband, and it's following along this one woman. She was the second wife. She has, her day is Thursday with the husband, and it's just following along her perspective and how she's kind of lonely about it, and she isn't able to have any children with her husband because something happened and she's unable to have children anymore. She's getting a little annoyed that she doesn't really know anything about the other wives, and she can't really talk about this because it's not really the norm, I guess you could say. So she's getting a little bit annoyed about that. So she starts digging into information about the other wives, and one of them she does actually go and meet, but she doesn't say who she is, like how she knows this person. She kind of makes it seem like she just stumbled upon this person and became friends, and it just follows along with that. And it's not something you would expect that happens in this, but it's a great read. I gave this 5 stars and I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to read some more work by Taryn Fisher. So the last book that I'm currently reading this one, but I'm thinking about DNFing, and this is The Trouble with Alice by Olivia Glazebrook. If you haven't seen my A Maybe book on haul, I'll link it in the card above and down below. I had picked out a couple books to do sort of like a try a chapter thing, and I read the first chapter of this and I really liked it, so I figured I would continue with it for January. And the further I got into it, which honestly I'm almost halfway, it just became very boring. The writing just didn't captivate me. The first chapter was like really good. I really enjoyed the first chapter, the first couple of chapters, but the further into the book it just got really boring. I don't know if there's gonna be something interesting towards the end, and it's an okay read. I like that it's like bigger font in the book because I can't see very well, so having bigger font in a book is great for me, but that still doesn't make me want to continue reading it. I'm not sure if I will want to read any of her other works, if she does have any other books. This was published like years ago, like one of the oldest unread books on my shelves, and I've had, basically there's this husband and wife, they go on vacation, but they end up in a car accident, and the wife loses her memory, or like some of her memory, so she's still kind of piecing it all together. And she was pregnant at the time, and because of the accident she does have a miscarriage. So if that is a trigger for you, then talks about miscarriage is in here, and like a scene with the miscarriage is in here, so be mindful of that. So she's dealing with that, but she doesn't deal with it too great, so she ends up distancing herself from her husband. So there is, I guess you can say she develops depression, and there is she's starting to develop like an eating disorder, so be mindful of those things. Yeah, but I mean, it seems like an interesting story, but the writing is just not captivating me anymore, like not like it did in the first chapter. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm officially going to DNF this book, but I will probably read the last chapter or two just to see how it ends. But the middle of it, I really don't care, because I have found myself skimming over some of the chapters and not really taking my time reading it like I normally would. Anyways, I hope you guys like this video. If you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions, leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that little bell icon to receive any notifications for whenever I upload a new video, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.